On March 8, 2014, Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, a Boeing 777, embarked on a routine flight from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. 239 souls were on board, their lives interwoven by the threads of fate, their destinations painted on the canvas of tomorrow. The plane ascended into the night sky, a familiar silhouette against the backdrop of twinkling stars. An hour into the flight, like a flickering candle extinguished by an unseen draft, MH370 vanished from radar screens. At 1:19 a.m., the last blip faded from the screens, marking the last known location of the aircraft over the South China Sea. Air traffic control attempted to raise the flight, their calls echoing into an eerie silence. The silence, heavy with unanswered questions, signaled the beginning of one of the most perplexing mysteries in aviation history. The initial search, focused on the South China Sea, yielded no trace of the missing aircraft. Days turned into weeks, hope fading with each passing hour, as the world grappled with the unsettling reality of a plane vanishing without a trace. As investigators delved into the cryptic disappearance of MH370, they uncovered a faint whisper amidst the static, a clue hidden in the language of data. Analysis of military radar data revealed a chilling detail. MH370 had deviated from its planned flight path shortly after its last communication. This revelation sent shockwaves through the investigation, shifting the focus from a potential accident to a deliberate act. The new flight path, a westward arc across the Malay Peninsula, suggested someone or something had taken control of the aircraft, steering it towards an unknown destination. The search area, once concentrated in the South China Sea, now expanded to encompass the vast expanse of the Indian Ocean. This shift dramatically increased the complexity of the search, transforming it from a needle in a haystack to a needle lost in the abyss. The Indian Ocean, the third largest of Earth's oceans, is a realm of profound depths and unforgiving currents. Its vastness, stretching over 27 million square miles, became both a challenge and a cruel irony in the search for MH370. The sheer scale of the search area, coupled with the ocean's unpredictable nature, presented formidable obstacles to the search teams. Sonar equipment designed to map the ocean floor struggled to penetrate the depths, its signals distorted by layers of sediment and underwater mountains. The ocean currents, shifting and swirling like phantoms, could have carried debris thousands of miles from the crash site, further complicating the search efforts. The search for MH370 became a race against time, not only against the fading hopes of finding survivors, but also against the relentless forces of nature, slowly erasing any trace of the missing plane from the ocean's depths. The unprecedented disappearance of MH370 cast long shadows of doubt, fueling a plethora of theories, each attempting to illuminate the darkness surrounding the tragedy. Experts and armchair detectives alike grappled with the puzzle, piecing together fragments of information, desperately searching for a complete picture. Among the most persistent theories was the possibility of a hijacking. The deliberate deviation from the flight path hinted at an intentional act, a chilling thought that sent shivers down the spines of those following the investigation. Could the plane have been commandeered by terrorists, its fate unknown, its passengers held captive by a motive as elusive as the aircraft itself? While the hijacking theory held a grim plausibility, others questioned whether a catastrophic technical failure could be the culprit. Had a sudden decompression incapacitated the crew, leaving the plane to drift aimlessly until it ran out of fuel? Or did a fire, erupting from the depths of the aircraft, cripple its systems, turning the plane into a tomb hurtling towards the ocean? Section 5. The human factor. As investigators meticulously analyzed the available data, the possibility of human involvement in MH370's disappearance loomed large. Was it a deliberate act by one or more individuals on board? The theory of a rogue pilot driven by unknown motives gained traction. The idea, while unsettling, aligned with the deliberate course change and the disabling of the plane's communication systems. Could a pilot, facing personal turmoil or harboring a hidden agenda, have steered the aircraft towards its doom, taking hundreds of innocent lives with him? The deliberate actions hypothesis, while offering a potential explanation, opened a Pandora's box of unsettling questions. What could drive an individual to such an extreme act? The lack of a definitive motive, coupled with the absence of concrete evidence, shrouded this theory in a veil of mystery. Section 6. ghosts in the machine. While the human element remained a focal point of the investigation, the possibility of a catastrophic technical malfunction could not be discounted. The complexities of modern aircraft, with their intricate systems and miles of wiring, presented numerous points of potential failure. Could a fire sparked by an electrical fault or a mechanical failure have raged through the plane, disabling its communication systems and incapacitating the crew? The lack of a distress call suggested a sudden and catastrophic event, one that left no time for a desperate plea for help. Another possibility considered was a sudden decompression event. A breach in the aircraft's hull could have caused a rapid loss of pressure, leading to hypoxia, a condition where the brain is starved of oxygen. This could explain the lack of communication and the plane's continued flight on autopilot until it ran out of fuel. Section 7. A course charted in silence. One of the most perplexing aspects of the MH370 disappearance was the lack of a clear motive. If it was a deliberate act, the question of why remained an unsolvable riddle. No credible claims of responsibility emerged from terrorist organizations, and there was no evidence of extortion attempts or political motivations. The absence of a motive only deepened the mystery, painting a picture of a ghost flight, a plane not only vanishing from radar but also from the realm of logic and reason. It seemed as though MH370 had slipped through a crack in reality, leaving behind a void of unanswered questions. The silence surrounding the motive fueled speculation, with theories ranging from a deliberate suicide mission to a bizarre case of air piracy gone wrong. Yet, without concrete evidence, these theories remained mere whispers in the wind, adding to the enigma rather than solving it. Section 8. Fragments of a puzzle. Years after MH370 vanished, the vastness of the Indian Ocean reluctantly offered up fragments of the puzzle, pieces of debris that washed ashore thousands of miles from the suspected crash site. In 2015, a flaperon, a part of the wing, was discovered on Reunion Island off the coast of Africa. This discovery, confirmed by serial numbers, provided the first tangible evidence that MH370 had indeed met a tragic end in the Indian Ocean. Subsequent discoveries of other pieces of debris, including a wing part and a section of the interior cabin, further solidified this grim reality. However, these scattered fragments, while confirming the plane's fate, did little to shed light on the cause of the crash or the events leading up to it. They were pieces of a puzzle scattered by the ocean's currents, offering glimpses of a tragedy but failing to reveal the complete picture. Section 9. A cold trail. In 2018, the Malaysian government released its final report on the disappearance of MH370. The report, while acknowledging the meticulous analysis of data and the extensive search efforts, concluded that the cause of the tragedy remained unknown. Despite the lack of a definitive answer, the report did not rule out the possibility of deliberate action, stating that the change in flight path was likely the result of manual input. However, without concrete evidence, the question of who or why remained unanswered. The conclusion of the investigation, while offering some closure to the families of the victims, left a bitter aftertaste of uncertainty. The mystery of MH370, much like the wreckage scattered across the ocean floor, remained largely unsolved, a haunting reminder of the unpredictable nature of fate and the limitations of human understanding. Section 10. An enduring enigma. The disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 stands as one of the most perplexing mysteries of our time. The absence of a definitive explanation, the lack of a complete wreckage, and the void of motive have turned this tragedy into a modern-day maritime enigma. The story of MH370 serves as a stark reminder of the vastness and power of the natural world, a force capable of swallowing even the most advanced creations of man. It also highlights the fragility of life, the way our carefully constructed plans can be shattered in an instant, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions. Years after the tragedy, MH370 continues to capture the imagination of the world. The mystery has spawned countless documentaries, books, and online forums, all dedicated to unraveling the truth behind the vanished flight. Section 11. An enduring enigma. The enduring fascination with MH370 speaks to our innate desire to make sense of the world around us, to find order in chaos. We are drawn to mysteries not only for the thrill of the unknown but also for the possibility of closure, of finding an answer that can bring peace of mind. The story of MH370, while tragic, also serves as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. The families of the victims, despite the lack of closure, continue to keep the memory of their loved ones alive, advocating for continued search efforts and demanding answers. The mystery of MH370 may never be fully solved, but the search for truth, the pursuit of understanding and the unwavering hope for closure will continue to drive us, reminding us that even in the face of unimaginable loss, the human spirit endures.